Clear Fork Valley, one of the prettiest patches of dirt on God's green earth, and home to some of the most interesting folks this side of the Mohican. Now, this tale, it ain't about some man from the valley, but it is the story of a man who done changed the lives of the people in the valley forever. So sit back, peel back a can of beans, and prepare yourself for the grittiest and greatest tale in all the Midwest. Children gather round the fire and lean your ears in close. This here's the tale of a man who's long since been a ghost. He rode from town to town, fixing troubles with his brain, 'cause physics was his business and Prairwood was his name. Slick Prairwood, Slick Prairwood, Slick Prairwood, Slick Prairwood. Most called him a hero, but others said a crook, and all called him a physicist who never was mistook. He stopped thieving scoundrels and sometimes saved a dame, and when folks asked where he was from, he'd answer with his name. Slick Prairwood, Slick Prairwood, Slick Prairwood, Slick Prairwood. That there is Slick Prairwood, that feller from the song, and that there's an angry mob. Now you're probably wondering how old Slick here got in this predicament. To answer that, we're going to have to go back to earlier that day. The citizens of Clear Fork Valley were in trouble. They were going bankrupt, and if they didn't start making some cash soon, these folks would have to rustle up and skedaddle. You see, the Mohican River was all out of nuggets. The whiskey cabinets had gone dry, and the blacksmith business was at an all-time low.
There you are, Mr. Anderson. One horseshoe. You done fed me and my brother one other day. Bless you.
See here, Mr. Blacksmith, I only bought this horseshoe out of pity. I certainly don't need it. By Jove, I'll probably throw it away by the time I get home.
Joe, was that Mr. Anderson? Did we just make a sale?
I sure did, Clark. Why don't you take this bag of loot down to the general store and buy some chicken and taters?
Well, boy, howdy. I sure will, Joe.
Hey there, fella. How much ballast you got?
75 cents, sir. My brother Joe and I are having chicken and taters tonight.
Chicken and taters? Well, that sounds mighty fine.
Yes, sir.
But you know, I got something far better they don't sell at the general store.
You don't say. What is it? Let me take a gander.
This here rock will taste like whatever you're most hungry for. And the best part is, it don't ever run out.
Mister, are you trying to tell me that there's a magic rock?
Oh, no. This ain't no magic. This is pure, unadulterated science. This rock has fed me since I was a young'un. But now it's time for me to pass it on.
Well, gee, thanks, mister.
This rock here, this rock ain't free. It costs, how much you say you got there?
75.
75 cents.
Well, that's how much I's got.
Well, that's perfect. How about we make a trade?
Gee, thanks, mister. My brother and I sure are mighty grateful.
Thank the Lord for imbeciles. Barno! How about a shot of whiskey?
Sorry, we're all out of whiskey, but we do got some tap.
What do you mean you're out of whiskey? You're a whiskey-only bar.
What can I say? Sometimes we just run out of whiskey. This bankruptcy sure ain't helping.
Yeah, just give me the check. Hey, filler, don't bother with the whiskey. It's dry.
I don't want your Indian whiskey. Where's the bank around these parts?
You're wasting your time, bandit. Our valley's bankrupt.
So there ain't no money in the bank?
Oh no, there's money in the bank. We got over $1,000 in emergency fund, but we only use that ever so often to keep the townsfolk kicking.
And where is this bank?
Oh, right up yonder, not more than a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Ah, much obliged. Thank you, sir.
Why would you tell him about our emergency funds?
Because I'm jingled.
Well, he's gonna steal it all now. Let's go watch.
Out here in the Midwest, there's a lot of dirty, rotten, unscrupulous, good-for-nothing, low-life, snake-in-the-grass scoundrels. But ain't none as dirty and rotten as Ransom Pigskin. Now, there's no doubt that Pigskin's on his way to clean the old bank dry. So who's gonna stop him? Well, I hope he didn't forget about old Slick. Well, at about this time, Slick Prairiewood was only a couple miles out of town. Slick was riding on his mighty steed, Sandy, on a sharp inclined plane that led right into Clear Fork. Here's a motion diagram to show the positions of Slick on his horse Sandy at equal time intervals. Slick traveled down this mountain from top to bottom with the distance being 20 feet, which is a scalar quantity. This position time graph shows Slick's velocity as he travels down the hill. This was all calculated by using a coordinate system. Slick had heard about Clear Fork's troubles, and he was downright determined to fix them.
Pigskin. Well, if it ain't Slick Prairiewood, sharpest mind in the Midwest.
Your time is up, Pigskin. You ain't robbing this poor valley all they got left.
Hey, what are you gonna do about it? You're not a killer. The only thing you use your gun for is to demonstrate the conservation momentum.
I knew you listening in class, Ransom, and you're right. I ain't gonna kill you, but I'm gonna distract you.
Dadgummit, I've been had.
Thank you, Slick.
Ain't no problem, Ma'am, Sheriff.
Wow, that was some smooth talking. Can I buy you a drink?
That's mighty kind of you, sure. I really could use a nice hard glass of water. This ain't whiskey. This is water.
Yeah, sorry. We're all out of whiskey.
Why is that?
Well, since the bankruptcy, we haven't been able to repair our equipment for preparing the barley.
Is that so? Well, I think I might have something that can help.
What in Sam Hill is that?
This here is a centrifuge. It's a machine with a rapidly rotating container that separates its contents.
Well, that there's fine and dandy, but how's it gonna make whiskey?
Oh, I know what this is. Centrifuges are used to separate liquids from solids. If you put your barley in there, you should have the first necessary ingredient to make your whiskey.
Well, boy, howdy. Thanks, Slick. You just done saved my livelihood.
And that's all I'm here for. Now, do you know of anyone else who may need some physics-related help?
Oh, everyone's got it pretty bad here in the valley, but I'll tell you, the prospectors got it worse than anyone.
The prospectors folks of the valley called him lived on the outskirts of town. He woke up each and every day and headed down to the river to pan for gold. But it had been months since the prospector had struck lucky. Yet, he continued to sift. Come on, baby, Papa needs a nugget. I start bushwhacking river.
Looks like you could use a hand there, Mr. Prospector.
Huh? It's no use. I didn't even find a flake for months. I think I might be able to help. Come on up here. Here, take this. You might want to write this down.
High and low tides are caused by the moon. The moon's gravitational pull generates something called tidal force. The tidal force causes Earth and its water to bulge out on the side closest to the moon and the side farthest from the moon. These bulges of water are called high tides.
So you're saying that when it's night out and the moon is out, I'll be more likely to find some gold?
You got it. You can even relate the water in that there gold to a particle model if you so please.
Well, hot diggity. That just sounds too mighty fancy for the likes of me. But thank you anyhow.
You're welcome, Mr. Prospector. Say, do you happen to know of anyone else who may be in need of physics-related help?
I sure do. Joe Blyschman's been down on his luck ever since his brother died this morning.
You said his brother died this morning?
Yes, sir. Choked on a rock. Old Joe's been rightful angry at the thieving drunk who done sold the rock to young Clark.
Sounds like old Joe Blacksmith could use some help. Say, you need a ride into town, Mr. Prospector?
That'd be mighty fine, Mr. Perwood. Thank you mighty much. Well, I can do that too. I'm still worthy.
So Slick Prairiewood rode into town in hopes of helping out old Joe, who had an awful embarrassing secret, with Mr. Prospector hitching a ride.
See you later, Mr. Prospector, and good luck with your nuggets.
Who are you and what do you want?
Hello, Mr. Blacksmith. I'm Slick Prairiewood, and I'm here to teach you blacksmithing.
I don't need help with blacksmithing. I'm a blacksmith. I know how.
The prospector said you needed help now that your brother's dead.
The prospector told you that? Well, I guess I can trust you. There's a secret in town that only the prospector knows, and it's that, well, I don't know how to blacksmith that well. You see, Clark was better at it than I was, and once Clark died, everything kind of fell apart. Maybe if someone had used physics to explain it, maybe it would have been easier for me.
I'll be an axle greasing, ash hopping, applejack, and Arkansas toothpick. That's all I know is physics. You sure I can't help you out?
Well, if you know your physics and you're willing to help, let's do it.
So Joe Blacksmith finally learned his family trade from Slick Prairiewood, who used only physics to teach it. Slick showed Joe how his starting position and ending position on the metal moves the metal in different ways. After that, he showed him the next equation for position. Then how the magnitude and difference of his swings with the hammer will give him different resultant with the hot metal, along with how the swing of the hammer is a vector quantity.
Mr. Prairiewood, that was one heck of a hog-killing time. Thank you for teaching me.
Not a problem, Mr. Blacksmith, and my condolences to your brother passing.
Slick! Slick! He's out! He escaped!
What are you yapping about, you jingler?
Ransom pigskin! He done tied up the sheriff who's waiting for you down in Mr. Anderson's field, Slick.
Hold on a jiffy. You're that drunk that sold my brother that rock he choked on.
I was just yanking his leg. I didn't think he was really gonna eat the rock.
You better start running, because I'm gonna knock you into a cocked hat.
Fellas, violence ain't no way to settle a dispute. Now you two sit down and talk, and I'm gonna go find Pigskin and bed him down.
That buckaroo is rather hypocritical at times.
Seeing as how Slick Prairiewood was unfamiliar with the terrain of Clear Fork Valley, it took him a little while to find Mr. Anderson's field. He had to cross several plains and several hills until he finally found Ransom Pigskin.
I've had just about enough of you, Slick Prairiewood.
I could say the same to you, you law-dodging, beef-headed bushwhacker.
You better shut your cock holster, or I'll turn you into buzzard feed at this instantaneous point.
I ever tell you about the conservation of momentum? You see, before the bullet is fired, the total momentum is 0. But once you pull the trigger, the bullet's momentum skyrockets upward.
You trying to scare me with your physics, Slick? Because it ain't working.
No, of course not. I just thought you might like to know how guns work based on the idea of change in potential energy to kinetic energy.
Ah, cut your bulldozing. Are we fishing? Or are we gonna cut the bait?
Oh, we're fishing all right. How many paces?
How about we do 6.5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5.
have. Draw.
Well, Pigskin, you're dead now, and I'm all out of clever cowboy phrases for you.
Slick!
Sweet prairie pancakes, Prospector. You startled me. I killed Pigskin. Now your town is safe again.
What have you done, Slick?
The town would have been safer with him in jail. You didn't have to go and shoot him. He might have been a bad egg, but killing is still against the law. What do you suppose we do with him, Sheriff?
Mr. Anderson's right. Killing's against the law. But he did help our town with his physics. So why don't we chase him a while, then we'll kill him.
The townsfolk of Clear Fork were rightful angry, and they chased old Slick Prairiewood through their valley for hours and hours on end, over hill and over plain, until finally Slick lost him and was able to hide out in a small cabin on the outskirts of town, where he would make his final stand.
Hey, Joe. Jumping jackaroo, Joe, you startled me.
Well, you startled me from my sleep. What are you doing out here, Slick?
I'm getting run out of town for killing a man. How about you?
Same story.
Same story. You didn't kill the drunk, did you? I told you two to talk it out.
The drunk and I were talking, and I wasn't as angry as no more. And then he poured us drinks, and he spilled mine. So I up and shot him with the potato gun, and I ended up out here.
The lethal tater hit the drunk at the apex of the trajectory, which is the instantaneous position, right in the gut, with an average speed of 20 meters per second.
Why on earth do you have that?
I don't have money for a gun, so I figured, well, I'll make a potato cannon. So, using the form of displacement over change in time, I figured, well, it'd shoot at about 20 meters per second.
Joe, Slick, come out of the cabin. We got you surrounded.
Sounds like we're surrounded, Slick.
Joe, load a tater.